everyone, my name is Kaikun6 and I'm here to do another episode of Playlist Stories. This one was a long time coming, to be honest. I felt like I've been doing these videos like later and later, like in months, because I thought maybe if I should do it like once a month, it'd be a lot better. It's just the placement of like where the videos would go. Usually it'd be like the beginning of the month, the middle of the month, or the end of the month. I don't know, but I felt like I wanted to do this one on this particular week of this month because let's just say I have been going through a lot of crazy stuff this entire, like for almost an entire week last week, and 2 of those days were just like socializing a lot. And so on my personal Facebook I made a post about, you know, kind of like I wish like some people would actually like publicly humiliate these people, but in reality like that's not me, this and that. So I have been feeling a little bit like weird lately, I would say. And I don't know, it's just been a very random week, and like all I know is that I'm hoping it just gets better from here. That's all. It's just, it was like one of those things where I deal with like a lot of petty stuff during the week, and I'm just like done with it, and I just don't want to do anything like that anymore. And I just want to be an adult and actually talk to these people and be like, you know, like this is how I feel, this is how my husband feels, and we're trying to do things a different way and this and that. So yeah, it's just been a really hectic week. And so lately I have been listening to a lot of K-pop to cheer me up, and it really has. As soon as like we gotten through like one of those visits and stuff like that, like it was just really hectic, and then it just became to this point where I think a few days now I haven't been listening to my usual music. I just been listening to nothing but K-pop, and it's not just K-pop, it's like stuff that I used to listen to back in 2009 from like 2013, maybe like 2015 the latest. And so I discovered this playlist on Spotify like not that long ago. I think it's like a couple days ago, and I have been just listening to this playlist. And so a lot of it just brought back a lot of memories of like me and my sister jamming out to K-pop. And yeah, and I don't know, it's just weird, but I think another video will explain like basically like how did I got into K-pop and stuff like that, other than just like one of my episodes of like Shiny, like the band Shiny that I did for the song Lucifer. There are some other songs on there that I forgot that they existed, and so I felt like I should elaborate more as time comes. But there was this recent conversation that I had with a friend of mine, and her name is Ace. She was talking about like, I think like a certain event that she went to, and like she got to experience this event with like her dad and this and that, and it just brought up some like old memories of like me and my dad. And so we were just having these conversations. Like I remember there was this one this one memory that brought up that I have told my friend, and I thought it was really funny at the time. I don't know if it's appropriate now, since all it is just my dad was such a jokester at the time. He liked to make fun of people, especially in public. And then whenever I was hanging out with him and stuff like that, he always joked around, and it's just made like my days get better, you know. And that's the one thing I really do miss about my dad, was just like me talking to him and just hanging out with him and stuff. And so I felt like this one was like a really good memory in a way, but it was kind of like tie-in. It was kind of like, how can I explain it? Like this was a catalyst to this, this week's episode, I would say, or this episode, I would say. Anyway, so as you can see the title, The Reflecting God by Marilyn Manson. This song, I don't remember how I started listening to the song, especially back in high school. And I think it was just my friend Alibaba, because I remember at one point I was like listening to certain music through MTV and VH1 on TV, and then eventually, you know, like Apple became really popular, and then they came out with like the iPods and stuff like that. And then what else, like eventually I just ended up getting like a classic or video iPod, and oh man, I miss those. I really do, because there was a ton of music on there that I used to listen to back in the day. And I'm right now with my 32-year-old brain, like I could barely remember any of the songs that were on there. And this was like pre-K-pop days, because like I told you guys, like I started listening to K-pop when I was like back in 2009. And so yeah, even though this is not anything related at all to K-pop, but still it was kind of like sort of like a catalyst in a way. So there was this conversation I had with my friend, and I forgot what happened, like how it all started, other than the event that she went with her dad, but it brought up a memory, and so it was just really funny. And then it brought up another memory that came with the song, and it was sort of like an embarrassing moment, I guess, in the moment. I don't know. Like, what happened was, I was watching one of those live stream videos, like, it was like post stream videos, and it was on YouTube, and this guy, well, I could tell you the channel name anyway. It's Lily Hayes. So they started doing, like, her and her son started doing like live stream videos on YouTube, and I started watching them like post streams. Like it would be either the following day or another day, but I would always miss out on the actual like live streams, because like live, and plus around the time that they stream, I'm already getting ready to go to bed because I'm an old lady. So this guy, Kevin, he talked about like this memory of like how his mom used to embarrass him or something, or like, well, he always talked about how cool she was because she never had the embarrassment gene or something. And so for some reason I thought of like kind of like, what is a really good memory that like my own parents embarrassed me? Like I've had, you know, like my brother used to embarrass me for sure, and my sister, I don't really remember. I don't think so, because I felt like we were kind of like on the same level of like, you know, what is cringe and what is not. And so but for my parents, you know, they were kind of like first generation, you know, kind of like they came to migrate here in the States back in like the basically the 70s and 80s. And so they didn't even know like what embarrassment was, I guess. I don't know, but like I just remembered this particular memory that I'm gonna share. I just wanted to tell you guys like a little background of it. And so it felt it like, even as of today, I still think like it's sort of embarrassing, but then it's not really. It's just like whatever's like right up here, you know. So what happened was it was like, I'll probably elaborate a little bit. So I think I told you guys about my friend Evie, or used to be friend Evie, which that was in the episode of Head for the Barricade by Limp Bizkit. I talked about how like this girl like had this group of friends back in like elementary school, and I always thought that they were really cool and I wanted to hang out with them, but then like they didn't want me in the group, blah blah blah. And so things were kind of like a little bit hectic from there. It got to the point where I started seeing drama with all these girls, and then eventually some of them fell out, some of them are still talking to each other, and this and that. So Evie, I remember this was like one of those like hangouts I used to hang out with like back in the day. I guess it was like recent high school graduation. I remembered like talking to her, like messaging her through Facebook saying like, hey, do you want to hang out? And then she would be like, yeah, let's go hang out, you come to my house. And I was like, sure. And so that was the moment where I told my mom, like, Mom, I'm gonna be hanging out with my friend Evie today, and I want to see if like, you know, like how it would go. And she was asking me like, do you need this, and then like she gave me like a whole like grocery list technically, and I was like, no, I have money already. I asked some for my dad. I think I asked him at the time was like $20 or something, and I was gonna go get myself like either a pizza or, you know, like a cheeseburger combo or something at the time. And I don't remember what I used that money towards right now, but like I just remember something with food. It filled me up, and then I ended up just like hanging out with my friend Evie the whole time. I think at that time she was in a fallout with another girl, which I don't want to say her name on here because I don't even know if any of my friends ever remember her, but her name does start with a K, so I'll probably just not say her name on here. But She was the girl that talked to female a lot in a episode that I talked about female when it came to Limp Bizkit's song. I think it was called The Only One, I think. Because I did make a joke about like how The Only One and No Sex is like basically the same song. But anyway, this girl was like having problems with Evie. I don't know why. I honestly don't know. I wish like I could go back in time and be like, you know, like what the fuck is wrong with you and this and that, because Evie was very depressed for a very long time from this friendship that she thought that they were gonna be like BFFs and this and that, and I'm here like kind of like supporting her, telling her like, you know, it's not gonna be no problem, you should just like relax, just you know, think about the good times that you had with her, and then maybe eventually she'll come around, who knows. And so she did somewhat, but I don't know how that ended up, because that was like way after like me and Evie just stopped talking to each other. So after that, what else happened? Like, oh, okay. So yeah, it got to the point where I was already hanging out with her and stuff like that. Like she was talking about some guy that she had a crush on and she thought would be really cute. And then it turned out to be like her current husband or fiance, whatever he is with her right now. All I know is that she has a baby with him, or maybe two. I don't know. It's been a long time since I've checked up on her. I mean, usually like when I don't become friends with somebody for a very long time, or I choose not to be friends with them anymore, I don't do like I don't know anything about them after that, because like their lives have changed, so has mine. Some don't even know that I moved to Texas, some have, and then others is like they just decided not to dissociate with me, and then I do the same. Like if they don't want nothing to do with me, I completely understand, that type of thing. And so, but this person was more like, it was my choice that I didn't want her to be friends with her because she was getting too much for me. And I was going through a lot of stuff anyway, through, I don't know, just a lot of life stuff mainly. But it was just mainly I was trying to see if I can grow up, this and that. But anyway, so we were talking about this guy, and I was just like, what do you know about him? And then so we were kind of like having that conversation. Throughout that whole time, I don't understand why my mom kept like checking up on me, I want to say. Like, she kept messaging me saying like, hey, where are you? And I kept telling her I'm still at Evie's house, this and that. And so she's like, okay. So I don't know, maybe that time my mom had a bad feeling, and like she must have like you know, like her mother's intuition kicked in and was just like, you know, I need to check up on my daughter and see like how she's doing. Maybe she's in danger, or maybe she's not telling me what's going on. And so kind of like a typical teenager thing for myself, especially like at that time, I would tell her details, and sometimes like if I decide not to message back, I'll eventually message later, so that way my phone will have a chance to relax. Because at that time I remember showing like photos and videos to Evie about like a guy that I was interested in at the time, or like I was about to date and this and that. So she would get like jealous because for some reason, or she'll tell me that she's like, that's not fair, because like she's like getting like all these guys' attention, and then for some reason I landed a guy that wanted to date me and was about to date me soon. And so I don't know, it was just a very weird thing with girls, I would say. I don't know, I've never understood that, to be honest, because I felt like if one of my friends started dating, I'll be like, congratulations, I'm so happy for you. But then when it happens to me, it's like they get mad. I don't know. And maybe it's just a girl thing or whatever. It's not like I've ever had self-confidence in the first place anyway. It was more like I just got lucky, and then I was really happy that they were interested in me in the time. And so I felt like I wanted to give that type of energy to my friend Evie at the time, to see if she was like, you know, kind of like supportive, and then be happy like, yeah, there's gonna be a guy on my date, and who knows, maybe it will go somewhere. So, you know, that type of thing. So anyway, so for some reason, like my mom was messaging me throughout the whole time, and then I felt like this is really strange because my mom would never do that. Not even when I was hanging out with with my friends Jaws and Choji. So that's why I felt like this was a very weird moment for me. And so and it was kind of like one of those things where it was like, I'm just gonna hang out with her, and if we are gonna go out, I will let you know. And so at that time, she wanted to go walk somewhere, and so we ended up walking to just another friend's house, I guess. And then I remember, like, in the same neighborhood that she lived in was like my friend Sparky, and so at that time, like, I didn't even know which house it was, but I knew that Sparky was living there, especially with his like stepmom and grandpa and all that stuff. So it was kind of like, oh, I might run into him one day, who knows. But then Evie was just like very worried that we're gonna probably find somebody that we're gonna recognize, and I was like, okay, that's really strange. So anyway, so I was like messaging my mom. Eventually I was like, Mom, I left Evie's house, we're gonna go take a walk, and then we're gonna be right back, we're gonna go get food. And then she was just like, okay, thanks for letting me know. And then eventually my phone died. Like, I don't know what happened, but I had a full battery. And even when I was messaging people and showing stuff on my phone, like videos and photos, I would still have some battery left. But for some reason, my phone decided to die, and it was just too early. And I was like freaking out because I was like, okay, how am I gonna get home? Like, even though I didn't live far from where my mom's house is right now, from Evie's house, I was like, I still needed to find a way back home because of the fact that it was already getting late, and I know my mom will not approve of me walking like in the dark. So I decided to tell Evie, like, is there a way I could like charge my phone and this and that? And she's like, what kind of phone do you have? And I said, I have this. And so she's like, yeah, go ahead, we'll just charge my phone when we come back. And I said, okay. So during this adventure that we were walking, I think we went to like some sort of park, and then she was talking about like this guy again, and then she was talking about like her problems with this girl, which I'm gonna give her the initials Casey. I don't remember what was her nickname in the first place, but Casey. So that's what I'm gonna give her. And then she talked about some other girls in the group that she had sort of like beef with and stuff. And then I know which one she was talking about. It's her name started with a J, so I wouldn't even know what kind of nickname I would give her because I didn't really knew her that well, you know. And so eventually it just got to the point where just things kind of like escalated from there, especially with her and her feelings. And then eventually stuff happened in the background where my mom started freaking out that apparently she called me while my phone was dead, saying that it was like, this person wasn't available, you need to leave a voicemail, this and that. And so it felt like, I felt like I was sort of like in danger, but then not really, because I still have my friend Evie and her phone. And so we walked back home, or back to her place, and I ended up charging my phone. And I remember the moment that my phone turned on from the charger, I saw like notifications coming through. It was like text messages from my mom saying, hey, where are you? Like, you need to pick up the phone, this and that. And I was just like, oh my God, what's going on, And so, and then I ended up getting a text message and a message the text messages were from my friend Ace, and then I ended up getting like Facebook messages from her mom. I was so embarrassed. I was just like, what the fuck happened, basically. And so I ended up just like calling my mom immediately, because I was just like, okay, I knew she'll want to hear my voice as soon as I pick up the phone. So during the time, I had the charger like right here, and then I was holding my phone through the ear. And so my mom was just like, where the fuck were you? Like, I've been trying to call you for like the past 45 minutes. And I said, Ma, like, this is what happened. So I was telling her my situation, and she was just like, well, I'm just glad you're back and your phone is charging, but like, what the fuck, like, didn't you had a full battery or something like that? And I said, yeah, but I was using my phone also to show videos and photos. And then eventually my phone just died as soon as you started texting me like crazy, which I didn't understand why. I was like, I'm kind of like safe. So basically the teenager brain in me. And so I felt like I wasn't understanding my mom's perspective at the time. And so she was like, well, I'm just glad you arrived safely, but you're gonna have to come home soon. And I was just like, what the fuck, why? I'm like, Mom, it's barely early. It's like about to be dinner time. I'm about to eat dinner with Evie's family, and she's like, fuck no, you're coming home now. And I was like, what the fuck? You know, like, okay, sure, I'll just like, just pick me up in like 5 minutes because I'm about to go to the bathroom and I need to let my phone charge a little bit because my friend Ace and her mom messaged me, and my mom was just like, yeah, I'll tell you about that after. And I was just like, what the fuck happened? So I got so I started going through all these messages, right? And it was from my friend Ace. So she told me what happened, like her side of the story, and then her mom's side of the story about like how my mom had a freaking episode, basically a freak out episode, where supposedly somehow I disappeared off the face of the planet because my phone died, and she thought that I ended up with my friend Ace, and she was freaking out in front of her and her mom. And so it was so embarrassing, apparently, because she thought that she was holding me as hostage. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like, Mom, if I knew, like, if my friend Ace was gonna be home that time and then her mom was gonna be home, I would have let you know that I was going to be over at her place. I told you I was at Evie's the whole time, even though we did walk for a bit and I did eat some lunch with her and this and that. Like, she ended up paying with her own money. I ended up paying with my own, especially with the money that my dad gave me. So, you know, like, you didn't have to be this dramatic. And so she was just like, fuck you, this and that. And I was like, okay. So she is very pissed off. So how am I going to make it up to her? So eventually I became like, kind of like, you know, somebody that was like grounded, I guess, but not really grounded. I just remember I stayed home for like maybe 2 weeks, and then she eventually just said, what the fuck are you doing here? Just go out. And I'm just like, what the fuck? And you just freaked out on me a couple weeks back saying that you were freaking out when I went over to Evie's house. So this was so strange. So anyway, so I just remember like how embarrassing I felt when it came to seeing that side of the story on text messages from my friend Ace and her mom. And she basically demanded an apology from my mom. And so I told her eventually, you need to apologize to her. And I think she did at one point. I think it was like one of those weeks where my friend Ace was going to move out of that house that she used to live in. And it was like sort of nearby where Evie was. And she apologized to her. They squashed the beef, basically. But my friend Ace was more like, you know, I understand, like her mom said, I understand, but I need you to start doing some things logically, because like, I know your daughter very well. She's very responsible, this and that, and something like this will never ever happen with her. So like, if you don't know your own daughter that well, then like, what the fuck are you doing? And so they basically, it was kind of like she was lecturing my mom, and mom was like, you can't tell me what to do, this and that. So whatever. I after a long fight, they squashed the beef. They became like okay with each other. And then so my mom was just like, the next time you hang out with her, you need to like do something nice for her. And I was just like, yeah, I should. And so I think a couple of hangouts later that I hanging out with my friend Ace, I ended up doing like a few things for her and her mom. And so I felt like maybe that was like repayment or something, I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, that was basically the memory that I remember. I can't believe like just this song, like, even though it's like it was just something I used to listen to back in high school, of course, where I felt like I not resonated with the song, but it was just mainly like, it was just really like a nice song to listen to, I guess. Even though a lot of people don't like Marilyn Manson nowadays, but like, I still like the band, you know. And so anyway, yeah, that was so embarrassing. I kind of still get the cringe sometimes from just remembering that. I just feel bad for my friend Ace and her mom for dealing with my mom's nonsense, even though it should have been handled a little bit better. Like, she knew what I was doing, like every step of the way, where I was going, what I was talking about, this and that. And so I don't know why that day my mom had to freak out on me. But then, like I said, I didn't understand her perspective at the time. But then after my mom explained her side of the story about how she dealt with Ace and her mom, And luckily, like, her sons were home that time too, so like they kind of like tried to, you know, calm her down and this and that. So anyway, so after me explaining to my mom, like, okay, well then if you don't like, I told her like, well, you know, I'm a girl that uses her phone a lot, and I still do as of today. So like, if I don't have an access to a charger, I would be gone for a few minutes, and you should know that not many things will happen during that time. Usually, like, I'll have like really long, deep conversations to people, or like I'll eventually ask them like, hey, can I borrow your charger, so that way I can have my phone on charge and see if like if I get another freak out episode from my mom or somebody else. So anyway, but yeah, like I just remembered, like, I just remember how freaked out my mom was when she picked me up from Evie's house and took us back home. And then I guess she wanted my dad to talk to me, and my dad was just like, what happened? And so I told him, it's, oh, that's a normal thing. Even my phone goes dead sometimes. It's like, yeah, but like, you're not, you know, you're not an 18-year-old girl. Like, you're a grown-ass man, this and that. And so my dad was just like, it just happens. Don't worry. Like, you know, you knew where your daughter was the whole entire time, even when her phone was dead. So, you know, like, just, you know, like, it's okay. Now she's home. She's safe. And then she won't do that again, right? And I remember my dad looking at me, and I said, yeah, that won't happen again. And he's like, good. Okay. And then so, after that, like, another memory surfaced, and that's the one I said about something earlier about how my dad was a jokester and this and that. So like I should actually tell that story another time, to be honest, because that's another, it's like a short memory and stuff, but like it's still good enough to be like another video on its own. So yeah, but yeah, that's the end of the memory. Yeah, I'm kind of glad that my mom never had another freak out episode like that, because I felt like if she ended up being like the really overprotective mom that I thought she was going to be when I was like 18 or 19, I don't think I would have ever had friends. That's the honest opinion. But because of like how I used to rebel, and plus like socializing was very important to me at the time, and then plus I had friends that just wanted to hang out with me the whole time, so it was kind of like nearly impossible for my mom to say no to my friends either coming over to the house, or they're gonna come and pick me up, and then we're gonna hang out somewhere that we know. Because all the time, like, I was always like that person that always told my mom where I was going, or if she was like curious, like, hey, where are you at this moment? And I would tell her like, oh, we're not at the mall anymore, we're on our way to like my friend Choji's house, and then or even at Sparky's house, this and that, or Jaw's house. It would be anywhere. It could lead anywhere. My mom knows that. And so my mom was just like, okay, I just wanted to know. And then she'll be silent from there for the next 20 minutes. And if I had access to a charger, and if my phone started dying for some reason, I would actually just like charge it up, and once I get like either a text message or a phone call from my mom, I will know that, you know, she has my back, and I would tell her where I'm at and this and that. So yeah. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I wish I was gonna have some stuff ready for you guys to show you, because this past weekend I did ended up hanging out with my in-laws at their place, and she ended up giving me some stuff that she was gonna get rid of anyway, and a lot of it was fabric. And maybe I can show you a little bit. Hold on, let me move the camera a little bit. And yeah, I haven't uploaded that dress yet, so sorry you guys, I haven't been working on Mercari, but I've already had that fabric right there, as you can see, like from this area and down. But yeah, sorry. But yeah, there's a lot of fabric that she gave me, and a lot of it's upholstery stuff. But yeah, that's all the fabric I have basically. So hopefully you were able to see the whole thing anyway. And so yeah, and then she gave me that, and then she gave me some, I guess, like beading and stuff, because I did say I wanted to start making some jewelry again, and I haven't done that yet. Like, I still have all the tools, I still have all the packaging, like I haven't even opened this yet, so it's just been crazy. And plus I've been trying to clean the small room. I feel like I finally have some more leg room in here, but it's always better if I make more, that's all. And plus I took out like the huge boxes of ceramics that I have, and so I've been doing nothing but ceramics lately. Like I I don't have the box here with me, do I? No, it's over here. Hold on. So I have been doing like ceramics and stuff, and then I ended up painting, getting them fired and glazed, and then I ended up getting some more. So I ended up getting like a mushroom, and then my husband picked out this, and I ended up picking up a couple of these also that I've shown you in a recent ceramics video. And then this one was a surprise for me because I forgot that I told Mary that I wanted to get this for a very long time because the one that I had a nest in there, and it was just not good anymore, so I didn't I had to go get another one. And so she ended up pouring me this. Well, she got this lady for Paula from Farmersville, so now her shop is up and running, and now I'm like, okay, great, I don't have to use the other gingerbread girl person, I should say ginger person, that that has like the pumpkin on there and then a heart, so that I can make it like a Halloween cookie now instead of a Valentine's Day cookie. So now, and this is meant for like Valentine's Day stuff. So yeah, I have been busy doing that, and yeah, so that's it. Other than me just expressing my feelings on social media, especially on Facebook. I've been uploading some stuff on there too. I don't know, it's just been really hectic for me this week. Like, I wish I could just tell you guys what's been going on in the background, especially since it's a lot of personal stuff, but no, I would say like I'll probably just keep it to myself, and I'll just give like little slight details here and there. And yeah, and also during ceramics I was also painting this clear glaze stuff. I had another one of these, and this meant for outdoors, this one not really, but I was just like, I wanted to use this, and I started sealing up all my ceramic projects. You can see those photos now in all of my social medias. So yeah, anyway, I am going to clean up. Next week I think will be a ceramics video, since I am going to pick up my stuff this upcoming Saturday, I believe. I'm not sure. And I'm gonna catch up with chores and this and that, and then plus I have been shopping a little bit lately, so I am going to see if I have time for that one. So if next week might be a ceramics video, or if not, it's going to be another shopping haul video, and it's just going to be a small thing, but I'll probably just do the ceramics video, or if not, a crafting. I don't know, I haven't crafted that much, especially with me making flowers and stuff like that. Like, probably I'll just show you guys that in a separate video and all that stuff, so we'll see. So anyway, hopefully you guys have a lovely day and a lovely week, and I'll see you guys next week. All right, bye everyone.